Okay, so since you aren't able to meet with me in the classroom, and since we have a lot of students who've never used any of this equipment, I'm going to start doing some very basic explanatory um, tutorials here so that you can kind of have an understanding of like the tools that are in your kit and how you're going to use them. The first tool we're going to talk about is your brayer. So it's important to note that this is not a roller. A roller is actually something different in printmaking. It does have a roller part, so we do call this part the roller, but this whole tool is not a roller. We call this a brayer. The roller part, which is this, is a little bit different on yours than mine. Mine is a bit larger and also the material is slightly different, but no matter the material or the size, the components that enable the brayer to function remain the same. So you have the roller, and then there's some type of housing unit, and then a handle. So my housing unit, this wire housing unit, is on the back of the brayer. Yours kind of comes up and goes over. Now mine have these little feet here, which are really helpful. So one of the key things you need to be aware of is that you can actually damage your brayer by leaving it like this. And so like, by that I mean the roller part being left in contact with a surface. So what happens, particularly with the brayer you have, because it's a softer brayer, is the longer it sits on a surface, it creates like a flat spot. And over time, the flat spot doesn't allow you to roll out ink evenly. So like if there's a flat spot in my roller, every time I roll out, that flat spot isn't going to make contact with the surface that I'm rolling on. And as a result, it's going to be devoid of ink. So you don't want to leave your brayer sitting like this if this was your roller. So y'all have this little piece of black metal that goes over the top. You always want to kind of sit it so that that black metal is in contact with the surface, and the top of your brayer, the roller part here, is facing up. Okay. So my brayer is actually a harder durometer. So the word durometer here is being used to describe the hardness of the brayer, the roller's surface. So y'all have a softer durometer, mine's harder. Different things are needed for different types of printing. The one that y'all have is a much more versatile durometer. It will do more things. This one I have, the hardness means it flies across or applies ink across the surface very evenly without dipping inside. But then if I go to do something like the jelly plate that we're going to do, it sometimes doesn't give me good contact because it's a hard brayer. So that's where your soft brayer will be really handy, but the soft brayer can make things a little bit more difficult during the relief. So when we are building our own shop and we're building our own supply kits at home and things like that, like our own supplies, you sort of start off first with the idea of like tools that are going to give you the most versatility. They might not be perfect for everything, but they're going to give you a versatile ability to use it in different ways. And so that's why y'all have a softer brayer. So just to review, okay, this is the roller of the brayer. Then you have the wire and casing. Again, yours is going to look a bit different. And then the handle. So the key thing to remember here with the brayer that we've covered is not to leave it sitting on the surface with the roller in contact because it will develop a flat spot. And then we also covered the idea of the durometer of the brayer. So that would be the durometer of the roller part, its hardness or softness.